When we talk about training evaluations, we often talk about measuring the outcomes and the effectiveness of the training. However, one crucial part, yet sometimes overlooked, is to actually measure behavioral change post-trainings. This is where Kirkpatrick Level 3 comes to play, and in this video, you will learn how you can use Kirkpatrick Level 3 in your learning journeys to actually evaluate behavioral change post-training. Kirkpatrick is a widely recognized framework used to evaluate trainings, and Level 3 focuses on to which extent the participants actually apply what they've learned once they're back at the workplace. So in essence, it measures the behavioral changes that occurs as a result of the training. Why should you then care about behavioral changes? Well, because it's a critical indicator of the success for the program. While knowledge acquisition that you measure in Level 2 is important, Level 3 actually tells you whether or not your participants are applying the knowledge that they have learned. And this, of course, we want to measure. So, how can you then work with Kirkpatrick Level 3 and evaluate behavioral changes in your learning journeys? To start with, you need to define clear objectives, meaning you need to define a successful behavior and how does it look? What is a successful behavior? Then you can use that behavior as a benchmark when you evaluate throughout the learning journey whether or not your participants are doing the new behavior, changing their behaviors accordingly towards the successful behavior. How can you then evaluate this? While observation and interviews is the most effective way to do it, it's quite time-consuming and not so efficient. We're not going to sugarcoat it. Measuring behavioral change is hard, but one way that is really time efficient and at the same time gives you a rather good picture of the actual truth is by utilizing self-assessments. By letting your participants do a self-assessment at the very beginning of the learning journey, then again straight after the training session, and then again at the very end of the learning journey, you will gather data on whether or not your participants are actually changing their behaviors accordingly. Self-assessments are not a perfect tool since many participants might not be realistic in their answers, but since it's so time efficient and it still gives you a rather good picture, I would highly recommend it to use it when you're going to evaluate behavioral change. Now, we're going to take a quick look on how you can do this in Enoli. So in this preparation task, I've prepared a self-assessment for my participants to do where they get to rate themselves on behaviors. Then again, when I go back after the first session, they get to do the same self-assessment once more. And then at the very, very, very end, in the final follow-up, they get to do the same self-assessment once more. This way, I will gather data on whether or not they have actually changed their behaviors accordingly. That's all for now. Thank you.